Hi, everybody. I'm Lynn Burkhead with MajorLeagueFishing.com, sitting alongside one of the Texas greats, Kurt Dove of Del Rio, Texas, right down there on the shores of Lake Amistad, where Major League Fishing got its beginning,
That's
Kurt.
right.
And I want to go back and talk about that.
Right.
When did you become aware that Major League Fishing was around?
So, real quickly, I'm a guide at Lake Amistad, so I'm on the lake every day.
Every day.
And I live about 2 miles from the Amistad Lake Resort, which was the housing or the hotel headquarters for the first MLF event. And as soon as I started seeing some guys coming to town, I thought, hey, there must be some kind of little tournament or some kind of show. Something going on, obviously, that's bringing all these guys in, and I actually ran into Mike Iaconelli at that Exxon gas station, and started chatting with Mike, and he mentioned, well, they're doing a TV show, and I thought, hey man, that's pretty cool. And I had guiding clients the entire time while the MLF was going on, but fortunately in that particular event, you had the whole course or the zones. You had the zones going on. So it kept the anglers in a particular section of the lake every day. So I could go run off and do my job, guiding, and then kind of, understand that they were fishing different areas of the lake. So it was really neat. Of course, with Major League Fishing and the process of the tournaments, and then the telecast later on, results, had no clue, had no idea what the results were. I knew the fishing was pretty good because, we were catching them pretty well on guide trips. So I knew that, whatever it was, there was going to be a lot of fish being caught, and certainly, obviously that turned out to be a really neat event.
Turned out to be a really neat event, and Brent Ayler he didn't shock himself, obviously, but I think there were a lot of people that thought, Kevin Van Dam is kind of the king of the mountain, and he's going to come down here, jerk bait bite, and he's gonna do his thing, and he's going to win. And he did his thing. He just didn't win.
Yes.
And it was very exciting television, and I think everybody was a little surprised at the reaction that came once the television hit the Outdoor Channel. When you saw the show and you saw how it unfolded and you saw the way the game was played under Major League Fishing's rules, what did you think?
Man, I thought it was super cool. I was like, how do you become a part of that deal? You have these 24 guys that were included in the initial startup of Major League Fishing, and the first thing I'm thinking of, I need to be in one of those tournaments. I need to figure out how to be a part of that competition. But as far as my viewership, I was excited. I was excited for the sport of bass fishing, the biggest sport. Why? Because it was something new. It was innovative. It wasn't like anything that had been done before. You had seen some of the pieces done in other events, but to be brought together and be a made-for-TV broadcast with some of the best anglers in the world, and then just the adrenaline flow that you have when you're watching it on television. You want to know who's going to catch the next fish. How's that going to affect the scoreboard? Is it a 5-pounder? Is it a 2-pounder? It's not just, holding, 5 fish up at the end of the day. I mean, you're watching. You're getting to see every step, every action, whether it's a successful decision an angler made or an unsuccessful decision an angler made. One really cool thing about the Amistad event was how many ways they caught them. Like you mentioned, they caught them on jerkbaits. They caught them on crankbaits. Todd Faircloth caught them punching grass. Jason Quinn caught them throwing the Alabama rig. Mike McClellan caught them throwing a jerkbait. But there were so many. Mike Iaconelli caught them throwing a spinnerbait. Tommy Biffle caught him throwing a frog. I mean, it was on and on and on. I mean, it was. So it really shows the diversity of, one, how many ways you can catch fish on the same day. You always hear about who won a particular event and what they won it on. But with Major League Fishing, it really shows people that, just because, it was won on a deep diving crankbait, there's a lot of other things that work. Go out, fish your strengths, do what you like to do. Sometimes you're going to get the right bite that's going to lead you in the winning direction. Sometimes you might get the wrong bite that still puts fish in the boat, but doesn't put enough fish in the boat as the next angler. So that's the really cool thing about Major League Fishing, being able to watch the whole process. And when it came down to the Amistad tournament, it was in the Amistad event, it really showcased the class of programming that Major League Fishing had, and as well as the anglers.
It is a television program without any question. It's a very successful and entertaining program
Sure.
on the Outdoor Channel. But make no mistake about it, it's also a very real competition, too. And you've had the opportunity now to live both sides.
Right.
You were the fan in Del Rio. You got to see it. You got to watch it unfold. You got to see the finished product. You got to see it from that aspect. But this week, you've lived the other side of the coin. You've been a competitor in it. Was it as real as all the other competitions you've ever fished in?
It was as real and upticked 5 or 6, scales of realism because every 5, 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, you know the exact changes. You know if you're potentially doing the right thing or potentially doing the wrong thing as far as, how you're attacking the lake or how you're catching fish. And, at one moment, even though it feels like and the score is showing that, okay, you're making some progress, you're starting to gain some weight on maybe the leaders or the guy that's in 4th place to make the cut or whatever the angler's particular situation is. It feels right, but it might not still be right, So you go through that process, and the level of excitement is obviously unprecedented. The really neat thing is that anybody can do this now, right? You've got the score tracker system, it's a downloaded app on on smartphones, and so anybody can do what
you take it to your local lake, to your local bass club, and anybody can live the Major League Fishing experience now.
The only really cool thing that I've been able to do it with is actually be on television, show exactly what I did, and maybe how I had some successes, and maybe how I had some potential failures, and then how it's going to make me a better angler. It's going to make the viewers a better angler. With the simulcast, I mean, you can see everything. Everything that's happening throughout every angler every day. If folks aren't watching that and becoming better anglers, they're not doing their job. They're not wanting to be a better angler, quite frankly, because that's part of the reason why I joined Major League Fishing. I wanted to be competitive, right? I want to compete against the best anglers. I want to compete in a different, innovative environment, which we have right here. The second major reason I joined Major League Fishing, and once I got the invite and accepted the invitation, was because I knew it was going to make me a better fisherman. I know it's making those other 24 anglers better fishermen that had been able to do this 3 or 4 times. And now with the selects and this, after this first event, I think all of us here, the other 23 guys, say, man, this is a neat deal. And I'm going to become a better angler because of Major League Fishing in this new format.
It's very exciting. It's a very exciting thing to be a part of. Let me ask you one final question.
Sure.
Was there anything that surprised you, anything that shocked you, anything that you didn't expect? Maybe the anxiety level, maybe the in-your-face aspect of Score Tracker Live, maybe the by-the-seat-of-your-pants aspect of having no information whatsoever, not even knowing where you're going to fish until you get to the parking lot.
So you hit the nail on the head in the last comment you made there. Was the biggest thing for me was the anxiety about not knowing where I'm going. I meet in the parking lot at 5 o'clock, and I've put all of this stuff, and all the stuff that I have, I'm rigged up 15 or 18 rods and reels, and I've put all this tackle in these boats, and, you want to, am I forgetting anything? Well, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going. And then you start driving there. And it's pitch black dark. It's like you're on the fishing black ops mission, right? And you're cruising down the road in the truck, and you're looking at signs. You're wondering what direction. Am I going to the east of where the hotel was? Am I going to the west? You're not sure exactly. And then you arrive at the ramp, and it's like, okay, we're here. We're at the lake. What do I need to do in my 30 minutes before my boat hits that water to prepare now that I have some clue at least where I'm fishing and what potential conditions are going to be? So that to me was the biggest effect on my person and my anxiety level. And once I got out there and started fishing, fishing tournaments, on tour or guiding, I feel like I've just been through that so many times. Sometimes at guiding, you feel like you're at a tournament every day. I mean, you've got 2 people in the boat. It's almost just like the cameraman's in the boat. You need to perform. If they're not catching fish, you're not doing your job. If I'm not putting fish on that score tracker, in the cameraman film, I'm not doing my job then either. So you're always, under that scope. I think anytime you're fishing an event, or in my case, even sometimes fishing, in my work, as a guide. But certainly the anxiety level was super high. Driving to the event, not knowing where you're going. Am I prepared? Am I not prepared? You don't know until you get there, and then once you get there, you make adjustments of what you need to do to hopefully be successful in the event.
Well, it's going to be a pleasure having Kurt Dove as a part of Major League Fishing at the select level, and hopefully before it's all said and done, it'll be Kurt Dove at the cup level.
That's right.
It's quite an experience, and it's a pleasure to have you,
Thanks,
Kurt.
Len. I appreciate it.
Welcome to Major League Fishing.
Thank you.
If you want to learn more about Kurt Dove and all of the other Major League anglers at the cup level and the select level, as well as the techniques that they excel at, go to MajorLeagueFishing.com.